Hello to everyone. It's time for me to record the next speaking practice video. Today we have speaking practice video number 91, and I don't even know really what to say. I mean, usually I do some warm-up for talk without moving to the ChatGPT, without going to before, sorry, not without, before using ChatGPT and answering questions. But right now I feel like I don't know about what to talk right now. But still, I need to do warm up. Warm up of my vocabulary, of my speech, in order to smoothly move to answering questions from ChatGPT. Because or why I need a warm up. I found out for myself that after from 5 to 10 minutes of warm up, I answer on questions. I answer on questions from ChatGPT much more better. Yeah, and I'm already practicing on a C1 level of questions, and it means that it requires analysis, thinking, and elaborated answers. And without a warm up, it's difficult to straightforwardly jump into a proper pace of speaking. Yeah. Yes. And so, at first, let me remind myself why I'm doing speaking practice video. It's important and it helps me to continue to do this practice frequently because sincerely talking or honestly speaking, it's not very interesting sometimes to just sitting alone and speak with yourself into the microphone. When you speak with a real person, when you chat with a real person, it's much more interesting, it's much more engaging because you kind of don't think about language, you think about communication. Yeah, you are engaged in a conversation in the same way as you would engage in your native language. But when you do it on your own in a type of practices like this, it's more difficult. Yeah, because you basically on your own, you are talking with your own, you are do um you're do monologue speech. Yeah, let's check if it's correct. Monologue, dialogue, and monologue. Monologue, monologue,
Monologue.
monologue. Yeah, I'm correct. Monologue. Yeah, and monologue is much more difficult. No, it's not much more difficult than dialogue, but it less engaging. Yeah, it less engaging and engaging. It less engaging and sometimes it requires discipline. Yeah, to be honest, sometimes it requires discipline just to simply execute this type of practice. Me, for now, I don't feel like I'm very engaged in speaking right now. I don't feel like I want to talk at all, but I understand that the speaking practice on my own right now will allow me to lead or at least to participate in dialogues in the future. And at that point in time, I wouldn't be able to, or I won't be able to need think a lot about grammar or think a lot about how I'm talking because I am exercising the form of speech right now, and in the future, I will just concentrate on on talking itself, yeah, on topics or on different dilemmas, on different issues that might be discussed. Yeah, just I think you understand what I'm talking about or what I mean. That right now I'm just practicing the form of speech. Yeah, I'm practicing speaking, and next in the future I will be able just to talk without thinking a lot without thinking a lot about the structure of speech. Yeah, because right now I'm exercising the structure of speaking, the skill of speaking itself. Yeah, and that's why I can recommend this type of practice to anyone, because not anyone at the beginning can find a speaking partner. Not anyone at the beginning, or not at the beginning, in the middle, doesn't matter. Not anyone can afford a teacher at the start, and not anyone can find a speaking partner at the start. So you can exercise on your own, and what I've been successfully doing for almost 3 years. Yeah, and you can hear the results. Of course, my results came slower, or come slower than my results came slower than if we will compare with the person who've been studying with teacher. But still, I got my results, and I can assure you this method is working. Yeah, this method works. This method works. Just buy a microphone, for instance, or if you don't need a microphone, just talk with yourself. But with microphone, it's easier. Buy a microphone and start recording a speaking practice video on YouTube, and it will be your speaking practice. Yeah, you still will be practicing speech without a speaking partner or a teacher. It helps. It helps. It's useful. It's useful. It's it's less engaging than the real speech. Yes, it brings benefits slower. Yes, it brings benefits slower, but still it works. Yeah, and if you only have this type of practice, this method is possible for you to execute. So just use it, just do it, and that's what I do. Okay, I think I've been talking already for 7 minutes. Probably I'm going to warm up a little longer. Yeah, what else I can discuss? Um, Not much, really. I'm studying, I'm practicing, I'm exercising my main profession, animation. I'm learning animation. When I have free time in the evening, I do English grammar, or I do speaking practice, or I read something, yeah, write sometimes. And in addition to that, right now I'm learning the rules of the road in the same manner. When I have a free time every day, approximately half an hour or 1 hour in rules of the road learning. Why I'm not I right now I don't have an opportunity or possibility to buy a car, but I'm planning to do it in the future. Yeah, when I will get enough money for it. And at that moment, and before that moment came, I've decided that I decided that it would be more profitable to start learning rules of the road in advance. Yeah, in order when the time to get in an exam or going to the courses or going to the courses will came. I already will be prepared, and I think it's more beneficial to do it right now. Yeah, to prepare myself in advance than to try to do it in the future when the time came. And truth be told, nobody knows when the time came when I will be able to buy myself a car. Well, I will need to buy a car basically. So better to prepare yourself in advance. Yeah, just you can call it just the rule of life. The rule of life that I apply to myself, that I try to live by. That if you can prepare yourself in advance, do it. and I'm doing it. I know that in the future I will be using English as a tool for communicating with other people for different reasons, yeah. And that's why I'm preparing myself right now. I know that in the future I would love to buy a car, so I'm preparing myself to it in advance right now. And what else? What else? Many things, many things. Yeah, I'm preparing myself to the future events that I want to achieve or attend in advance, and this is a good approach or principle to live with. It helps. Okay, so without further ado, let's move to the practice with the ChatGPT. Question number one. Why do some people prefer to spend their holidays exploring a place, while others mainly want to rest? I don't know. I don't know really, and I don't want to talk about other people in general. Yeah, because I think the preparation how to spend holidays, it depends on the person's mood, on the person's preparation, on the financial situation, on many factors. Yes, it based, and it doesn't and it isn't like one person or whole life want, I don't know, simply to rest, and the other person whole life want to travel. Yeah, it's not work like that. It balancing. It's balancing, and yes, and as I said, it depends on many factors, on the mood, on the priorities, on the financial status, on many things, on the possibilities and opportunities. So one person, for instance, might really want to explore a new place, but I don't know, family, finances, lack of free time, yeah, just simply aren't allow the person to do it. Aren't other factors just simply do not allow person to do it. But or on the other hand, person have all opportunities, all free time and possibilities, but simply don't feel like to travel somewhere or don't feel like exploring something new. Sometimes you just want to, I don't know, when you have a rest day, just simply stay at home and read a book, for instance, or just lay and watch TV. It's absolutely normal, yeah. And as I said, it's a question about particular situation, particular circumstances, and particular state of mind, mood, basically. So this is my answer, or at least this is how I would like to answer this question. And yes, there is no division. Yeah, there is no division in this question. It depends. It depends. Yeah, there is no clear division in this question. It just depends on different factors. So question number two. How important is it for children to learn how to manage money from an early age? It's not just important, it's crucial in my opinion, because if person do not know how to deal, how to manage and how to control the money, it will affect their life in a hazard, sometimes even bad manner. Yeah, because you can see a lot of example in a. It's not even in an. Let's say not even in in children. Yeah, we might see these examples. Adult people who just don't know how to control their finances, and they usually spend all what they make, and sometimes even worse, they spend more than they make, which leads them to which leads them in financial debt, and it's some form of slavery already when you are in a debt and you don't have enough money to close the debt and you spend more than you earn, and it's kind of endless circle of financial slavery which you put yourself into only because you don't want or don't know how to manage your income and your outcome, or how much money you spend basically. And that's why it's important to educate children to use and to deal or manage their finances properly in order to always have a free money, uh, savings, and do not, let's say, provide yourself in financial debt. The question number 3. Do you think modern architecture is generally more practical or more visually appealing than traditional architecture? I don't think modern architecture usually or in general more appealing than traditional architecture. A modern architecture is created not for look, mostly. It's created for comfort, usability, and the approach is usually sufficiently efficient. Yeah, when you get as much result, as much, basically as much result from as less resources as possible. Yeah, it's a business. Yeah, and building also is a business. So you want to get as much as you can from the resources you invest into. So in my perspective, modern architecture, as I said, it's about efficiency. It's usually not about beautifulness or art, in general cases, yeah. But in the past times, buildings uh, usually were built by artists, usually were built by architectures, and it was a rare cases. Yeah, it wasn't like for everyone. So that's why it usually takes. That's why it usually took a lot of money, investments, time, and because there was so much money and time, it was an opportunity to hire a very different people. Yeah, to make this project. So that's why the old building, in my sense, are are more rare in quantity, but better in artistic expression. But new buildings are more common in quantity and not only in quantity but also in quality. I hope so, in quality, and less deliberate in art or artistic manner. Yeah, because people looks for efficiency. Yeah, right now in a modern age. In the modern days, people look for efficiency and sufficiency most of the time, regular people. So they don't need a decorative balcony, for instance. They need a stable, pleasantly looking, usable balcony for their needs. And they pay for it. Yeah, so this is my answer. But right now, people needs more efficiency than art for everyday living, and that's absolutely normal. Uh, and that's why modern architecture is generally more practical than traditional architecture, visually more appealing. Yeah, that's how I would answer on it. The question number 4. If humans eventually establish permanent communities on other planets, what problems do you think they would face beyond the technical ones? Beyond the technical ones? I think the same that they face on the planet Earth. Wars, pollution, fighting for the resources, fighting for the influence, all the same problems, all the same uh, how we call it, all the same social, social. 1 minute.
Sociology.
Sociology, yeah, the same sociological, the same sociological problems that people face at the planet Earth right now. So nothing actually nothing actually will change at this field, and probably get even worse. Yeah, because on established communities on other planets, I think there would be less control at the beginning and more resources to fight for. The question number 5. Why do some people develop a strong attachment to particular objects, even when those objects have little financial value? Why do some people develop a strong attachment to particular objects, even when those objects have little financial value? I need an example. I need an example. But okay, let's speak in general, yeah. Sometimes you have objects like let's say for instance it's a picture of your family. Does it have I don't know great financial value or little financial value for you? No, it doesn't have financial value for you at all. But you just like to have this picture on your table, on your working table, for instance, and just look for it. It brings you good memories, good feelings, and it makes your life and your mood just better. And that's value as well. And there is a lot of things in the world that don't have financial value, but brings us, bring us good emotions or good memories. And in the memories and in memories and good emotions, value is value as well. And in memories and good emotions, value as well is value. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's Google it. Interesting. Memories and good emo and memories value as well. Grammar. To express that memories hold value or meaning, you should use a clear structure like memories have value. Memories have value as well. Yeah, sorry. Let's build this sentence properly. What I've been trying to say is that memories have value as well. The same as, I don't know, your computer has financial value, or no, your flat has financial value. Memory, pictures or things that just brings us comfort, good mood, and good emotions. Uh, It's also a form of value, just not financial, emotional. And that's why people have strong attachment to particular objects, even when those objects have little financial value or do not have financial value at all. Just different value, emotional value for the person they have. Okay, the question number 6. How does the food available in a country influence? Okay, how does the food available in a country influence its culture and social life? I don't know about social life, but about a culture, it just simply food that available in the country just simply adds to cultural kitchen, let's say, or cultural or cooking local culture. Yeah, it would be correct phrase because people develop new dishes, people develop national food by using ingredients that is available at a local place. So that's how actually this all culture of food in a region formed. Yeah, just by availability of local products and variety of local products. So that's a direct connection between uh, food culture and what um, food is available, what food and what food is available in a country. Yeah, just direct connection to these two things because dishes are formed from products from food that is available. Okay, good. How it affects social life? I don't really know how it affects social life, but cultural life, I said how it affects. It built a national, local. It builds national local food. Yeah, which is a part of a culture of a country or a local place or a nation that lives in this in that in this local in that local place. Okay. The question number 7. Do you think professionals do you think professional athletes and entertainers have a responsibility to behave as role models? Yes, of course they have responsibility to behave as role models because they are on they are in they are uh, they are in public. Yeah, they are in public. People watch them, people look on them, and people kind of adapt, even unconsciously, the parts of their behavior. Yeah, it's it's how influence work. Yeah, we tend to copy what we see. Yeah, we tend to copy the behaviors that we see regularly. At the beginning, we copy the behavior from our parents, then we start copying the behavior from other people, from different sources of information. And the professional athletes and entertainers, they are the part of the media, they are the part of the information that we perceive and the part of the behavior. They are the part of this system, yeah, and if we will watch them regularly, we will start copy their behavior, even unintentionally. That's how human mind works. I I forget how this term called. It's kinda mirroring thing. Yeah, we tend to mirror. other people. That's how we learn. Yeah, we mirror. And yes, I already explained, when we very often see some influencer, we start mirroring him, mirroring his behavior, and that's why um, these personalities who are in the public, they are of course responsible for their behavior, because their behavior affects how other people might behave themselves. Yeah, and better to give a good example than a bad example, or mirroring. Yeah, for other people to follow. Yeah, better to give good examples than bad example for other people to following. It's like the same as I explained. It's like the parents educate their child. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't work in a so strict way. Yeah. But still, it works in the same way. But less influensive. But still, there is an influence. So this is my answer. I hope I explained myself clearly. The question number 8. If museums allowed visitors to interact with historical objects rather than simply look at them, would that improve their learning experience? Mm, I don't. Probably yes, but the whole. I'm sure you know that the whole point of the whole point of mm, Zakaz, Bongel. The whole point of prohibition of touching historical objects is to maintain or to prolong is to maintain their condition and to prolong their life period. Yeah, because for instance, if we have, I don't know, some very old rifle, very old rifle, and we will allow any visitor to touch it, it will be broken one day for sure. And it will and not even and not and even and if not broken, but the quality of this historical object will, how we call it, tatter, not tatter, but wither, probably. Not wither, but wither synonyms. Wither synonyms. Fate. Yeah, let's use fate. I don't really remember this word. Okay, let's. This is a practice, so I can use Google as much as I want, and I want to find out the meaning of the word that I want to say. How we call the thing that is worn? I think that is worn. The body is generally called an item. No, 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 no. Worn synonym. Tattered. Tattered. Correct.
Tattered.
Yes, it's just become tattered. Yeah, correct. The quality of this object, if any person, the historical object that is placed in a museum, for instance, if any person if any person would touch it, it will simply deteriorate the physical state of this object. Yeah, just like cloth might be just like cloth might become tattered. In the same way, the rifle that I've been talking about, the historical life rifle, the materials from which it was made also become tattered and deteriorate in physical quality. So that's why there is a prohibition. That's why there is a prohibition. Not because someone just wanted, but because there is a reason. Because these historical objects, in order to still be the historical objects, in order to still be the uh, how we call it. How we call it? Okay, in order just to use this object as a historical artifact, uh, in order to recreate a memory about the past, a vision about the past, it needs to be protected. It needs to be maintained and cared about uh, in order to perceive the quality of the object, yeah, or simply a physical state of the object. So that's why there is a prohibition to touch it, just simply in order to maintain the quality of the object, of the historical object. And would it improve the learning experience? Yes, but it will destroy and deteriorate the state of the object, of the historical object. Doesn't matter what the object is. So I think in the museums, in the places where people can learn about the history, it's better to keep the historical objects untouchable by regular visitors in order to save their, in order to prolong their lifespan and preserve their quality. That's all. Very logical and very logically obvious answer, but somehow I managed to answer on this question for quite a long time. Yeah, when the answer basically was very simple. Yeah, okay, doesn't matter. It's just a practice. That's how it should be. I'm practicing, and practice means doing as best as you can in order to improve, and that's what I'm doing. The question number 9. Why do people sometimes find it easier to communicate with strangers than with people they know well? Good question. Very good question. Why do people sometimes find it easier to communicate with strangers than with people they know well? Mm, because sometimes they don't feel a real connection or a friendship with people, or they can't simply trust the people they know well. So that's why it's easier sometimes to meet someone new and, let's say, give a chance, give that person a chance to, or at least, or not all that person, but give yourself a chance to meet someone new, to know someone new. Probably new person would be more suitable. Not suitable, but rather more friendly to you, or more suitable. Yeah, let's use word suitable. Compatible. Compatible, yeah. More compatible with you. Compatible. Let's check if I use compatible.
Compatible.
Yes, compatible. It was the right word. So, this is my answer, yeah? Sometimes the people we know very well for long, we understand that they are just do not compatible with us, and we can't build something deep or meaningful with them. And that's why for us it's much more easier to talk with the new people, uh, with the new people, yeah, because we have a chance to meet someone new who will be compatible with us or not. Yeah, it just kind of always a try. It's always a try. It's always an attempt. An attempt that might succeed or might fail. It's life. It's how human connection works, how society works, how we work as a human, as a part of the society, how we work as a humans in a society. We give a new connection a try and we see if it's compatible with us, if it's compatible with us or not. And that's all. And that's my answer, I guess. I very very sincere one. Yeah. The question number 10. Do you think there are some things that should remain offline, even as more aspects of life become digital? Why? Do you think there are some things that should remain offline, even as more aspects of life become digital? Why? Yes, I surely 100% think that there is a lot of things that should remain offline and should remain private. Like connections between friendship, spending time together, family, time with children, your personal hobbies, your personal time that you can spend on reading, for instance. Why keep it online? I don't know. There's a huge part of life that should be kept offline, kept not hidden, but rather not official for other people, because we all have our own privacy, we all have our own needs to spend our time on our own with or with family or with people with whom we are close together. Yeah, and and this time became much more, how to call it, quality adjective. Quality can function directly as an informal adjective meaning excellent or high standard. Yeah, yes. So I've been talking that offline time with family, with friends, with people with whom you close together. Uh, it has much more quality than spending this time online through the computer, because there is no real physical connection. You speak with each other online. You don't see, you don't perceive, you don't hear. Sometimes hear when you spoke with the person through phone, but still you don't see, you don't. It's like halved way of communicating. Yeah, it's still effective way of communicating, but it's halved. It's limited to a certain restriction. But when we see person alive offline, now we can perceive by all our, and now we can perceive and communicate by all our possibilities. Yeah, by all our senses. We can talk, we can read the emotions, we can share emotions, we can laugh, we can be together, we can touch each other. Yeah, there is all possibilities to communicate. There is no restriction. I mean, in connection. I mean physic. I I mean no, not restriction like, yeah, there is no restriction in the meaning that we are able to communicate by all our senses in a full manner, as it always is, as it always was, and as it always be. And in compare when we communicate through online, through messages, through internet, we still communicate, but the communication is limited because we can write a message or we can call the person, but still we are not near with the person. Yeah, we are not together in one place, and our possibilities is limited. This is my answer. And things like that should remain offline, of course, like connection and communication between people. It shouldn't strictly remain offline, but when you have a choice between online communication and offline communication is always better to choose because it brings more connection, basically. Yeah, it brings more feeling of connection on all human levels. Okay, and that was my answers on 10 questions from ChatGPT. I've been talking for 46 minutes. Yeah, good result, I deem. I still feel like my speech a bit stiff. Sometimes I lose the proper construction of my thoughts. Still, I explain quite clearly what I want, what I mean, but sometimes I lose the construction, the blueprint of the sentence. Yeah, and for instance, you heard it that I might say something very simple in a very unnecessary complicated manner, or I can say something difficult in a simple manner. Yeah, and better to, and it's not a question of my choice right now. Yeah, I do as I can on a current level of English, but in the future, better to try to always express the thoughts in a simple manner. Yeah, simplicity always wins over complexity. And if you can explain simply, and if you can explain simply the complicated things, it means that you are fluent in it. And I would love to speak English simply, clearly, and effectively. And I want to be able to talk about complex topics in a simple manner. Yeah, that will show my fluency and my skill very clearly, or at its best. Yeah. So thank you for today. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for, if you are watching this speak and practice video, thank you for watching it. I recommend to you, if you are an English learner as me, to execute this practice on your own. It will help you for sure. It will bring you confidence in your speech, and take care. Yeah, just take care and continue your studying. See you in the next speak and practice video. Goodbye for today.